tal amigos? Welcome to the very first edition of LatiNation's Football Club. We're very excited with this new project that we are building for all of you fans of the most beautiful game in the world, soccer, football. No importa cómo le llames, we're gonna have it all here, and that's why I'm very happy that for a second time in a row, our very first guest, collaborator, and expert, Chiva, El Chiva Mayor, Julio Ramos. How are you, my friend?
So happy to be here with LatiNation Football Club, baby. You know, ready to talk about football, what we love. And man, so much football this past days.
Oh my God, we have Champions League, Liga MX, double match day in this week, and so many transfers, so many changes in the League's Cup, changes in Champions League, and everything has been delivering high octane activity in every game. And let's start with the very best league in the world, not really, but kind of Liga MX. Chiva, what was your favorite game of so many games that we had last week? We had games on the weekend, then we had so many games on Wednesday or Tuesday. Chiva, what was your favorite game? And then we'll get to what's happening with your Chiva later on in the segment. But let's start. What was your highlight of the match day?
I was impressed. I was excited to watch Atlas Monterrey. I think that was one of my favorite games. 3-3, spectacular soccer at times. We all know that Monterrey has a very good team. You know, a lot of quality and the players. But then also Atlas with Gonzalo Pineda putting that different style. I feel like Atlas is going back to their roots, the way they play, the way they touch the ball. The heart that they put into the game.
That is true, Chiba. We saw some of the very best, level of play in that game. The dynamic, the tempo. I think Atlas is trying to recover from, tying with Pumas earlier in the week. And speaking of Pumas, they don't seem to have a clear way forward. Chiba, I was excited to see Carrasquilla. I saw some highlights from Bebote at the front. Very confident about the goalkeeping. Pablo Lara, it's a very high level. And we have a spoil of riches in the back. But Toluca with Alexis Vega, and a stack lineup, they weren't able to get any points. They were able to get 1 point out of the visit to Ciudad Universitaria, but Pumas is still losing, dropping points. They dropped 4 points this week in Ciudad Universitaria at home. And these are the points that come back to haunt you later in the tournament. And speaking of dropping points, Chiva, what's happening with your Chivas, man? They seem to, like, just like Pumas, they seem to start hot in the tournament. 2 games, really nice, and then reality hits back.
Well, before I go to Chivas, let's not forget that Hector Herrera finally got his debut with Toluca. Even though he looked tired, he didn't play that many minutes.
Yeah.
But he's finally able to play after that sanction that he's carrying from MLS. I'm happy to see Hector Herrera, back in the Liga MX after 12 years of being absent from Liga MX. Going to my Chivas didn't make me happy on Tuesday. But let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
The kids around Gamberos keeps impressing everybody. I don't think he's gonna last too long with Chivas. The fact that there was a kind of a last minute goal for Chivas I think it was not an offside. There's a lot of controversy with the ref. The penalty kick he gave to Toluca, the one he didn't, the one he took away from Chivas. At the end of the day, Sin Yolanda. Now let's not cry. Chivas lost 2-1, but something very special happened, especially on the fact that I'd never seen it before. The fact that Oscar Garcia, got in an altercate with one of the Leon players, and he tried to kick the player, and he looked on the video like he kicked the ref. And
oh my God, that could carry a big problem to Chivas.
so everybody's talking about, he should be sanctioned for 6 months. I think that if we see a five and up game sanction, I think the Chivas leadership has to look into it and maybe bring in a new coach, because
Yeah.
a lot of people. I know he just started, but I think some of his substitutions, man, are not the best. So let's see what happens when Chivas are struggling.
I think that a new coach that loses control so quickly into their tenure, it's a red flag right away. I thought that, especially when you are talking about a player with such a high profile gets involved in this altercation. I know that the pressure is high in a team like Chivas, but that's why they have to bring some of the top talent because the pressure is on, and you have to act accordingly. Some other teams they really did take advantage of this double play, the double match day. Tigres 4-0 to Tijuana. Mazatlan surprisingly hitting fifth place last season. They were like the bottom of the joke, my friend. They were at the bottom of the table, and now they're surprising everyone, beating Puebla, getting some points. America, my friend. I know that you won't be very excited to hear that America is going forward, looking for that next championship. They're looking very very well. And if you think about it, that team is just building. They're playing with a lot of youngsters. The big time players are just finally getting some minutes. Do you feel like we're gonna see a very long dynasty with America to your disgrace, Chivas?
I hate to say this, but that's what it looks like. I think that this time around, the coach was able to understand that, hey, look, I have these little kids, these youngsters. I'm gonna give them the opportunity for 2, 3, 4 matches, so that my number, the main squad can take a rest, and that's what he did. And man, now they came back, they won again, they look good. Who's gonna stop America?
Man, let's see. They go against Juarez, where Murillo, our good old center back from LAFC, is starting to get some rhythm into the competition. Let's look at some of the games, Chiva, that we're going to be watching the upcoming weekend. América contra Juárez, Mazatlán contra León. I think that's going to be a great game that is going to define some of the top places in the table. Chivas going against Querétaro, Pumas against San Luis, visiting Toluca Tigres is going to be a great game. I really like that game. I will put some money into the over 2.5 games. Those teams score a lot. And then Monterrey Necaxa, another big game on the weekend. Anyone that stands out for you and something that you're looking forward to?
Honestly, like you said, man, Toluca Tigres is gonna be a great game. It's a game that you want to watch, and a game that is gonna be sad to watch is gonna be Santos versus Puebla. It hasn't been going their way. I think that both teams are struggling, especially Santos. I don't know what's going on after getting the new stadium, new ownership, all of these good things that happened to Santos, and all of a sudden they're one of the worst teams in Liga MX.
Maybe I have three words for you. Club de Cuervos. El que sabe, sabe. I think that is very controversial and, prove that this is no joke when you bring a 24-year-old kid to, lead such an organization. 12 games. I think there's going to be the 12th game without victory. And that brings me to the table. Tigres, first place. America, second place. Pachuca, León, and Mazatlan complete the top five. Juárez on 6, Necaxa, Toluca, and Cruz Azul, and Pumas complete the top 10. And just right outside the top 10, Chivas with 4 points, tied with Tijuana. Still early in the season, Chiva, but we're starting to see that some of the teams are struggling to find their rhythm, and some others they're clearly, showing their dominance. Cruz Azul, although they won this past Wednesday, they haven't really, calentado motores, como decimos. What do you think is happening over there?
I think Cruz Azul is going to be a really good team. Bogus hasn't played. He's going to bring a lot to the table. But man, if there's one team that could probably stop America, it's Cruz Azul. But then on the other hand, they have like 20-something years without beating America in playoffs. So I don't know, man. It's but they have an amazing team. I think that if Vicente Sanchez does a good job, he can make it to the final, probably win a championship.
Ya veremos qué pasa, que alguien detenga a la América, que ya no gane campeonatos, por favor. And with that, we complete our review of Liga MX. We have so much more here in LatiNation Football Club, our very first episode. We're excited to have you here. Don't go anywhere. This is LatiNation Football Club.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Bienvenidos de regreso. This is LatiNation's Football Club. We're very excited in our very first episode of this new show, and I'm here with my good friend El Chiva Mayor, and we're very excited because we're going to talk about one of our very favorite tournaments. MLS is about to begin February 22nd, season number 30. 30 years of development, and I think, Chiva, that we're seeing one of the most mature versions of the league. Some big returns into this amazing tournament. The return of the prodigy son to Atlanta. Chiva, what do you know about Miguel Almiron returning to Atlanta?
Well, he's coming back from Newcastle. He left from Atlanta to Newcastle now. And, he's happy. As an MLS fan, I think it's happy days, bringing that player like him, even if he's not playing for my team, I think it's only good for the league. One of the announcements that I just read, that I love, is the fact that MLS can change their calendar. They're talking about it. It's possibly going to happen from August to May, just like the rest of the world.
Yep.
And that's good, man. It's only going to help the league to grow more and more. And I'm excited for that.
I think that we're going to see one of the best tournaments in many years. Now we are also going to see a very strong, very exciting San Jose Earthquakes team. I'm very excited to see what are they going to do with Bruce Arena and Austin. I think Austin is putting a team together that is looking really good with Ely and some other veterans. Chiva, some exciting signings that you feel are going to really make or break teams in the upcoming season.
Yeah, man. I think Brandon Vasquez coming back to MLS, and the fact that he's going to Austin, it's gonna make them very strong, man. The fact, Bruce Arena bringing like 5 players from New England to San Jose. He knows what he's doing. He's building, like you said, a great squad. I'm very excited, man. I think San Diego is also a team that, with Chucky Lozano and the team that they're putting together are gonna be a very competitive team, and it's only good years for MLS. Of course, Miami with Messi and all of the ex-Barcelona players. One thing that I'm sad about, Marcelino, is the fact that there was huge rumors about Neymar coming to MLS, about Neymar going to Chicago, and unfortunately for us, the ones that go to the stadiums here in the MLS, he's not coming to MLS, and I think, man, that's sad because it would be good to see him.
Lástima, Margarito. Nos quedamos con las ganas de ver a one of the best players in the history of the game. To my liking, I think Neymar was the last Jogo Bonito player that really, rely on the spirit of the game, on the surprise, on the unexpected. And now, we see very tactical players. I love that as well. But Neymar goes back to his childhood club, Santos. A big welcome is going to be expecting. Let's hope that the injuries respect him and allows him to really show for his fans. Going back to MLS, a lot of changes in the region. Leagues Cup, a tournament that has been very controversial to say the least. Some of the games were really boring. Very little people went to the stadiums. A lot of traveling, unfair fixtures where most of the games are, like all of the games are playing in the US. Now there's some changes. Chiba, talk to me. What are the new updates to the League's Cup?
Well, first of all, like you said, man, there was a lot of boring games. I think LAFC played Vancouver like 20 times between MLS and Leagues Cup and all that. One good thing that is happening is that it's 18 teams versus 18 teams, which is good. And now we're not gonna see any MLS teams play MLS or any Liga MX play any Liga MX, and that's only gonna make it more exciting because that's what we want to see. We want to see that rivalry that is building, and that has been there, between U.S. and Mexico, soccer-wise. I'm excited for this new Leagues Cup. Hopefully, one day we can see home and away, where teams can go visit Mexico and then they can come here to the U.S. That's only gonna make it more exciting. But for right now, they make changes. It sounds good. Let's see how it comes out.
All games played in the US and Canada, but starting the postseason, the playoffs are going to be played on Wednesdays to try to kind of mimic this Champions League calendar where teams are playing their domestic leagues on the weekend and their international games on the midweek. What I like, Chiva, is that for this year, we are not going to stop the domestic leagues for a month to play this kind of makeshift tournament. I think that was a disservice to the local leagues. People lost momentum. The players lost, also momentum because the travel was brutal. I think these are positive changes. This might be what this marriage between MLS and Liga MX is that is providing a lot because as we've been reporting, so many players have been going from MLS to Liga MX. We were talking off camera, Chiva, how much Liga MX is farming out players from MLS, allowing the MLS teams to go buy on the cheap, develop players, and then they go because they have more budget. What do you think is the future for this development path for players from Europe that come to MLS, play in Liga MX? I think it's great.
Look, man, everybody wins, right? MLS, for example, Mateus Bogus that went to Cruz Azul. LAFC got him for $1 million. They sold him for 8.5. I think that's the number. LAFC is happy. Cruz Azul is happy. Liga MX teams are doing that because there's a lot of players from MLS now going to Liga MX, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's understandable because, like you and I were talking off camera, there's sometimes the Liga MX is going to spend $5, $6, $7 million on a player from South America that they don't even know he's going to be any good. Now what they're doing is they're scouting the players from the MLS. They're down to pay the money that they're asking for, but they're taking some amazing players. And there's a rumor for one more player to leave the champion and go to play for Tigres.
Oh, yes. The rumor that now with Gignac getting this season-ending injury, now they're going after Jovelik, our good friend Nik Z, countryman, the Serbian. Critical for Galaxy on the championship now might be a player from Tigres joining, a handful of top players from MLS migrating for the big box. And Chiba, thank you so much. We're going to go with Nick on the next segment, but thank you for being here with us. Are you excited about LatiNation Football Club or what?
Man, I'm so excited. I want to be wearing a jersey from LatiNation Football Club. And I'm also excited about MLS, man. We're almost there. A lot of football coming our way. And I'm so excited to be here, part of LatiNation Football Club, baby.
You know it. And we'll be right back with the playoff games of Champions League with Nik Z. This is LatiNation Football Club.
going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he's becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you too.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? We are back in our first episode of Golazo Football Club, our latest show, and I'm so excited because I am live with Nik Z straight from Europe. He was there covering, among other things, the draw for the next phase of Champions League. My good friend Nik Z, how is Europe treating you? Talk to me.
Let me tell you, it is an absolute pleasure to be here in Europe as all of this is unfolding, especially with this new format. The buzz is in the air. It's absolutely electrifying. I was glued to my my phone all this morning, hopping on between like the UEFA site and Twitter, trying to refresh that page and see the latest drawings. As I said, I mean, I found myself in like a crowded pub. The buzz was in the air. Everybody was glued to the television. It was absolutely amazing to see things unfold. As I want to mention, though, there is a little bit of a buzzkill in the air because I'm in Serbia. I'm in Belgrade, Serbia. The team representing Belgrade, Crvena Zvezda, the only one still hanging in there, didn't make it, given the new format rules. But still so much amazing football coming up down the pipeline, and it's really exciting to see how things really unfolded there.
So tell me, Nik, are you ready for this new playoff phase of the Champions League?
Yeah, some people hate it, some people love it, some people think it's a little too drawn out. I happen to find it absolutely amazingly exciting. I mean, you see, first of all, teams from the same league, from the same country going head to head. We might see Milano against Inter. I mean, that's so cool to see in this stage. I don't think it's drawn out. I don't think it's boring. I think it's absolutely exciting. And I think, teams like Man City, who just squeezed through at the last minute, pinched their way in there, perfectly exemplify that.
So, Nik, tell me, where were you this morning when the draw happened, the names of the teams dropped? Share with the audience of LatiNation Football Club what's happening, what games are going to unfold.
It was a long morning for me. From the moment I woke up, I was super excited to see where we're going to go in the next stage of this tournament. I went straight to the heart of Belgrade to kind of feel the atmosphere in a local pub there. I went outside, and I brought you all of the latest to come from the drawings.
Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos? Nik Z here, reporting from a very frigid Belgrado, Serbia. Now, here in Europe, the weather forecast may be looking bleak, but things are about to heat up on the pitch as the UEFA Champions League first round comes to a close. Speaking of Belgrade, Crvena Zvezda, you might know them as Red Star. They finished 29th place, so no hope for them. They're out, but still plenty of amazing European football to look forward to.
So to start things off, let's just go through the top 8 who automatically qualified for the round of 16. That is Liverpool on top. Almost a flawless performance for Liverpool, except for that last match. Similar story with Barca in second place. Arsenal finishing strong in third, followed by Inter Milano, Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen, Lille, and Aston Villa squeezing by in the top 8.
So after a thrilling first round, here, who's going head-to-head in the knockout stage.
Now, keep in mind the knockout phase of the playoffs are played over the course of the next 2 weeks. We got Paris versus Brest, Bruges versus Atalanta, Man City drawing against Real Madrid. They can't complain. They should just be happy that they're at the party, to be honest. Juve going head-to-head with PSV, Monaco and Benfica. Sporting versus Dortmund, Celtic versus Bayern, and Feyenoord, who's been showing out throughout the tournament, going head-to-head against AC Milano. Now, guys, with this new format, we've seen that literally anything can happen. And if this next round is anything like the first, there's going to be plenty of amazing matches and plenty of goals.
Nick, thank you very much. That was a thorough report. And now tell me, what are the games that you are the most excited about? I'm, for sure, kind of a bittersweet feeling about this Real Madrid-Manchester City that in any other year, it could be a final. But now we have it in a very, very early exit for one of these two giants of the Champions League.
No, that's true. And these are two teams that have kind of underwhelmed. And now, if we were in, say, the previous format, we might not even see either of them in advancing at all. So look, I've kind of been seeing this as the glass half full, not half empty, in terms of, hey, at least we'll see an epic clash somewhere in the beginning of the next round instead of at the final. But that doesn't mean that there won't be more excitement to come. I'm happy that Man City actually squeezed through. They're hungry. They want this. They're pissed from their, let's say, rough start that they had in the first round, and they're hungry, and it's really exciting to see how far that redemption in their minds is going to take them. And so for that reason, I'm actually excited about it, but I can see why it might be disappointing if you're a City fan or if you're a Madrid fan, a Real Madrid fan, because it's like, uh-oh, my team might be, leaving really soon in an epic clash that I was hoping to kind of see later on. But that's what happens when you finish kind of lower down in this new format in the opening stage.
Thank you, Nick. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, you at home, thank you for being part of LatiNation Football Club, this new show that will bring you the very best information, prediction, odds, and all the chisme caliente that the beautiful game has. Nick, I'll see you next week.
All right, welcome to a very revealing Beat the Odds. Brandon reveals the mental approach players have. Teddy reveals his approach to betting the props. And Jack reveals his belly. Yeah, we did our own Pro Bowl skills thing. Wasn't good. Beat the Odds starts now, though.
From our Las Vegas studios, this is Beat the Odds, sponsored by Superbook at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, and powered by SportsGrid.
And here we go. Welcome inside our Las Vegas studio. I'm Dave Hall.
And I'm Mariah Janos. It's the week before the championship game. We'll get you ready with all the betting numbers, trends, and fun stats. We also had our own skills competition, as Dave mentioned. Me against Jack.
Skills. Well, here's a little. Are you sore at all today?
I'm actually feeling good. Round 2. Let's go.
Okay, well, here's a little sample of what happened. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. We'll have the dramatic finish to that. Also on the show, Teddy is taking us to school and the smart way to bet on those player props.
And Brandon Marshall is back to help me break down what unfolded in the conference championships. Plus, our guys from SportsGrid are ready to roll, too.
Hey, Vegas, we're excited to beat the odds with you guys once again. Coming up, we get set for the big game off the heels of some quarterback performances that were a little surprising, with Jalen Hurts dominating through the air and Pat Mahomes dominating on the ground, and what that could mean when we get to that big game. So sit tight. We'll join you in just a bit. Back to the crew out in Vegas.
Listen, in the words of Kenny Powers, I'm a good athlete. I'm not trying to be the best at exercise. All right, once we got the exercise portion, I failed a little bit, but a little bit like some of the teams that played last weekend, right?